is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Thursday, May 12th. It's around 8:30-ish or so. I'm your boy, Steve. We got Dev and Phil in the house. What's up, fellas?
Yo, what's up? It is the weirdest reason that people get excited, but it's here.
It's here. It's just got released today. It was a big deal. Not a big deal to some, big deal to others. Kind of indifferent. But to talk about the 2022 Commanders schedule, let's bring on our good friend of the show. We know him as Derek. You might know him as the Burgandy Boss. Let's welcome our boy Derek to the show. Derek, what's cracking, man?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate coming back.
Good to see you, man. All love. Derek's been one of the OGs from the very beginning. We've known Derek for a long time from the Washington Football Addicts group. So,
from the old Rod days.
Yeah, that's right. So I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you and the family are doing well. Football season is upon us. We had the draft. You know what? But real quick though, let's tell everybody where we can find you out in the ether.
Right on the intranets. So first, you can find me on Twitter at Burgandy Boss as DC Derek. I also we have the YouTube up. It's Burgandy Boss Podcast on YouTube, and wherever else you listen to podcasts at, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere.
That's right. Go sub it up. Family. And if you haven't already done so, also please go like and subscribe us on YouTube. Command this. We rebranded from the Washington Football Addicts, giving you a little bit more diversified content. But today's a Washington Commanders Day. We are also available on all your major podcast platforms, just like our boy Derek. But Derek, real quick before we get into the schedule, man, how did you think the draft went for us?
You know, I thought it was very solid. I think they went after key pieces that were needed and guys that'll make early impacts. And then they had a guy fall to them that they loved that may eventually become the franchise quarterback.
Mr. Sam people are.
That's the only howling allowed in this stream.
You know, people are indifferent about Sam. I think he was a steal. I think a lot of people had him as like QB3, maybe. Definitely a lot of people didn't have a 5th round grade on him. If they did, I think they're full of shit. They had a 5th round grade on him, in my opinion. But hopefully with Carson, you know, the word of the past of, you know, he's insensitive, he's scared. I hope that's all just smoke and mirrors. I know they said Ron called him before they drafted Sam Howell. Hopefully that was just a formality, a sign of respect, and not a sign of insecurity. I like Sam Howell. Last year, Virginia Tech, my college team played them, and they ate him up. So I was like, this is Sam Howell. And then I know that was the year before last, and then last year, after he lost all of his, that was this past year where he lost all his weapons. Just wasn't the same because I think they pinged him to be QB1 before his senior year. So
he was
expected Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. And who's now at a new school, by the way. That guy's an asshole. Yeah. Supposedly an asshole.
Allegedly.
I don't know if you saw the Elite 11 stuff on him, but you know what? We'll be talking about him next year, I think. So, you know, just with all the stuff coming on. But we had a good draft, and of all the draft picks, you know, personally, I'm excited to see Cole Turner, man. I just love the tight end position. That dude, every time I see him, he's more and more athletic than I actually knew him to be. So I don't know. Logan's still hurt. And John Bates he's solid, and Reyes is Reyes, you know. But I like Cole Turner, man. Who you like, Phil? Who's your guy?
My guy, the guy I really want to see, John Dotson. Come on now, I'm a Penn State fan.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to see him translate to the NFL. What I really want to see is how the fan base reacts if he turns out to be everything I think he can be. You know, especially, you know, when Cooley comes out earlier this week and he gives a comp, not necessarily like, okay, he's going to be this guy right off the bat, but in terms of play style and everything else, his comp was 05 Santana Moss.
Yeah.
That's an insane comp because it's a great comparison in terms of play style. Because when Moss was at his peak, even at 5'10", 5'11", he would go up and attack the ball on these jump balls in ways that you usually see the big receivers do.
Yeah.
But Moss would go up and get those kinds of passes. And Jahan Dotson's the same type of player. Another guy who was like that, Deshaun Jackson. He would go up and attack these jump balls in ways that you usually don't see the smaller receivers do.
Dotson is what? What is he weighing in at? 195?
180.
180, 185. He's in that. He's the same size as Santana Moss.
I thought Santana was like 205.
No, maybe. Santana Moss is 180, 185 his whole career.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I know Deshaun was right around that same build.
Deshaun was actually a little shorter too.
Yeah.
But I think that they listed him at like 5'10", but I swear he didn't crack 5'8".
Yeah.
But I think that Dotson it could be that guy. And he will dictate coverage in ways that nobody on this roster does.
What I missed.
Including Terry. We're just talking about rookies. And I think that he is going to open things up a lot for Terry too, because Terry runs great in those intermediate routes, that 12 to 18 yard range.
Yeah.
And if they're worried, if safeties now have to play back because of the threat of Dotson, you open up everything underneath for Terry. And when I say underneath, I don't mean what we're used to underneath being 3 to 5 yards. We're talking about first down mark or beyond.
Yeah.
Intermediate area.
We
haven't had that since Deshaun and Pierre Garçon.
Yep. Hey Deb, we were just talking about, with Derek, just recapping our thoughts on the draft. Who was your favorite pick of all them dudes?
Probably the safety. Can't think of his name.
Percy.
Ooh. What's that?
Percy.
Yeah. I think that he's going to be a day one starter. I think we needed help in that position, that middle linebacker. So
yeah, that's cool. I can get down with that. All right, well, let's jump right into the NFL schedule, fellas. Here we go. So it was just released not too long ago. We saw a lot of leaks today come around, whether it was through the media, whether it was through deliberate leaks themselves. But here we go. Let us take a look. So our preseason games, we got Carolina at FedEx Field, and we got the Chiefs away. Derek, you going?
Oh, definitely. 100%. I don't care if it's a preseason game. I'm still going.
And the tickets are going to be cheap. Yeah, man, that's going to be great for you to go watch the Commanders and Chiefs.
What's cheap?
What's cheap?
You said the tickets are going to be cheap. Like, what's cheap?
I mean, preseason, it's probably going to be like, I don't know, $20-$30.
Yeah, when I took my whole family to the Ravens preseason game last year, I think we paid around. I mean, I bought them from Ticketmaster a couple of days prior, but I think I only paid like $25 each. Not that much.
That is cheap. I know when Washington played Tennessee, the RG3 year, that he didn't even play that game. We had Pat White won that game on the buzzer, and that's when Chris the running back for Tennessee is real fast.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah, he did that shake move on Bakari Rambo, who couldn't take over
Bakari,
shit.
Man.
It was gone. It was gone, man. Like that crazy ass.
Yeah, I mean, Bakari Rambo is the same guy you tried to justify as a good draft pick when we went through all the draft picks a couple pods ago.
Who,
Bakari Rambo?
Dev. Yeah, he tried to say Bakari Rambo was a good draft pick.
I mean, he had a good career, I guess. He played, 8 years?
Not with us. He was just a guy. He's just a jag. He's a jag for this team. Well, preseason, I mean, it's funny. I think the Ravens preseason game is always a thing now. Battle of the Beltway. I feel like it's locked in. I don't know how many years in a row. If anyone knows, please comment and let us know how many years we've been playing the Ravens. But this is 2 years.
It's over a decade now. It's well over a decade.
Yeah, and it's usually towards the end. So.
Because I remember that it was the Ravens game was our first taste of seeing John Beck back in the day. And I remember immediately going, this guy ain't it. And everybody in Washington thought I was a fool.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see Carolina come to DC, so Ron gets to reunite with his old team. I don't think that's a big deal anymore. I know people are calling us the Commanders, and Ionitis is a Panther, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's the first one I've heard that.
Yeah.
Commanders? I haven't heard that at all. That's hilarious.
The Washington Commanders.
Look. You know what's funny? Every coach does this.
Yeah, they do. You know what?
George Allen came to DC and brought like half the Rams roster with him. That's why they called us the Ramskins.
It's basically
before they called us the Over the Hill game. Yeah. When Joe Gibbs came back his second time around, we brought a bunch of Jets in, and we were the Jetskins. This happens.
The Jetskins. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we brought in Moss, John Hall. We brought in a couple offensive linemen. We brought in a bunch of Jets, and then we were calling them the Jetskins. So
that's funny. Well, let's just move right into week 1. We open up in Jacksonville. I mean, that should be a big W. We I don't think we've ever, according to the team, we've never opened up against Jacksonville in a week 1 matchup. I don't know how. I didn't really follow them in the draft. I know they had a lot of picks. Of course, it's Jacksonville. They usually get a lot of picks, but we're opening at home. It should be interesting. It's for the first time. We're opening at home for the 3rd consecutive season.
Really?
Time since it says the Commanders will open at home for the 3rd consecutive season for the first time since 2015 through 2017. So we did 15, 16, 17. We opened at home, and so I guess that 20, 21, 22. We also opened at home. So that's cool. Jaguars. That's like a homecoming game. You should win that one, right? It should be a good.
Not so fast, my friend.
Hey, last year, week 1, we lost Fitzpatrick on what play? I mean, the second
quarter.
Oh, yeah. But we are 6-1 against the Jaguars all time and 3-0 at home versus the Jags. So
we have a good track record against expansion teams of our lifetime.
Also, it's the Carson Wentz revenge game.
The Jags?
Well, yeah, because that was the team that knocked him out of the playoffs.
That was sad. They shouldn't have been knocked out of playoffs too. That's terrible, actually. That's right. Colts were favored by so many on that one.
They blamed that on Wentz, but what really Wentz's fault that he had like 400 yards on him. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Wentz don't play defense.
For reals. Week 2 away at Detroit. I was kind of hoping this might have been the Thanksgiving game. Detroit always plays on Thanksgiving. Green Bay, Dallas. And we saw all those on the schedule, and I was like, "Oh man, maybe we'll get a Thanksgiving game, Thanksgiving football." I mean, it's hard to beat that. It would be nice, but not this year. We opening up against second week away in Detroit. I don't know, fellas. Like Phil was saying earlier, that could be an easy 2-0 start. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna jinx it, but they're giving us the tools to be successful here.
The Lions game scares me a little bit because. Even though they're not a very talented team, that is a team that plays hard for their coach. Yeah. That guy has that college mentality about him. Rally around the team, everything, real passionate. And they seemed to buy into it towards the end of last year. Remember, didn't they take the Steelers to a tie?
They did.
I think so.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. And everybody was like, how did that happen?
What up, Marcus? Marcus says, Marcus Edelin, what up, fellas? Nice schedule, but a late buy. Yeah, bro, that is correct. I like the buys right halfway through the season. That's just my personal preference because you're battling injuries and too early, nobody's injured, too late. This one's at the very end. So I guess if you're making a run, it gives them replenished for that big last push. Week 3. At home in Philly, open against them freaking Philly fans, man. That's going to be the first real challenge of the season, I think. Division A games always hard. Washington is 2-2 against the Eagles over the last 2 seasons, 70 and 80 and 6 against the Eagles overall. So we are down 2 games on them, and we have a 41 and 38 and 3 record against the Eagles at home all time. So that should be a good one. I hope we. Hope the stands fall back on Jalen Hurts again. Hopefully that the zip ties haven't healed up. Go ahead,
if I
Derek.
can
I'm not
touch
even
on,
that worried about Jalen Hurts. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts. I think he's pretty much what you've seen of him is the best you're going to get out of him.
Yeah.
And I don't care if, yes, who they got AJ Brown, blah, blah, blah. So what? He's still got Jalen Hurts throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to have to use all that, to use a buzzword, catch radius and all the other things you want. He's got high point balls over his head. He's going to have to use his entire skill set to be successful with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Because that dude's just mad and accurate.
Yeah. What's up, Derek? What you got?
Oh, I just wanted to touch on Detroit week 2 again. I mean, I think that they've done a lot. They've added a lot of different pieces to that team this offseason, and I think they're kind of a sleeper team. You know, call me crazy, but I think the good part about that is they're not going to have Jamison Williams because he's not going to come back until after like week 8 or so. So,
Right. And going back to even week 1, that's when we're going to see Sheriff. Did you guys realize that he's a Jaguar?
Oh,
Yep.
God.
And we picked up.
I hope he sucks. I hope he's as inconsistent for them as he was for us. I don't care what you say about him being all pro.
Yeah.
I never quite bought into him being the best guard in the league.
Who's going to be on our right side of the defensive line? Will that be Chase or would that be Montez? Or would they move them around? Because I'm just saying, in a terrible world, what if Sheriff owns everybody? Then we're going to be like, shit. You know what I mean? It's going to be terrible. But that's what I'm looking for.
Or Wentz gets sacked 100 times.
Yeah. Yep. And the Eagles, man, they had a pretty good draft. I know they had the dude that I was oh shoot, what's his name? The defensive lineman, Jordan. Had to ask. I can't remember his name, but remember we were talking about him during our live stream. He's the defensive end, Dev. I know you remember Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle.
Yeah, Jordan Davis.
He's going to be a beast, man. So hopefully our line is up to the task. And then week 4, back in Dallas. So we're home away, Silver or Blue Star, back in Dallas. That's going to be 2 divisional games in a row, man. NFL loves doing that to us. And then, I don't know how Dallas did in the draft. I know their first pick was Kenyon Green. Mixed opinions. They were a pretty good team last year. They won the division. I don't know how they end up with the weakest schedule in the league. We'll save that for another day. But
know why.
October
when's the
2nd.
last time that we had 2 early divisional games like that?
Usually they've been pushing them to the latter half of the season.
Usually, didn't we play? We had the Eagles and the Giants in the first couple weeks in 2020.
Yeah.
So that was that, but usually it is Eagles Giants. We never get the Cowboys early. We always get the mid to late season, and it always seems like we deal with injuries and all that just before that. The only times we've ever been really successful against the Cowboys, we had an earlier or at least a first half of the season game against them. 2020 again.
Yeah.
We had them right before the bye, and I remember it was October 20th, something like that. I just remember because I was coming back from Nashville, my first trip down there, and it was mid to late October. I was listening to the game on the radio, and we stopped them. I mean, that was Kyle Allen's kind of breakout performance. There was against Dallas, beat them 25-3. Yep. And I think that it's better for us when we get Dallas early at some point.
Yeah,
always seems to work out in our favor.
You look at the first 8 weeks; it's home away, home away, home away, home away, home away. That's crazy.
It's not like you're singing the theme song. Home down.
I mean, you go to week 9, home away, all the way out to week 9. Week 10, the pattern continues in week 10. Well, week 5, we got the Titans at home. I'm really looking forward to that game. I think that's going to be a fun game. I would love to.
I think I'm going to that game.
If I could pick a game, I think that's the game I want to try to go to.
That's the measuring stick.
Well, you don't want to go to Dallas at the end of the year, last game of the year?
I do. I mean, I've done that. I've done that not a million times. I've done it a lot.
Steve and I went to the Dallas game last year. It was not fun.
It seemed like they put us in it seemed like they played Dallas at home in October the 2nd and away in January because of weather.
Yeah, not this year.
Not this year.
Flip flop.
In fact, didn't we play? I think every time we have to beat Dallas in order to get into the playoffs, it seems like it's late in the season and it's at home.
Yep.
I liked how last season, the current season, rather, whatever we're in, I like how they ended our season on all division games. I wish they did that more often.
That's a go. I don't like that, man. I don't like that.
Not that many, not 4 and 5 weeks. That's
I liked it.
From a football perspective, it's cool because it's like everyone's in control of their own destiny. So much could happen in the last 4 weeks, but from a homer, it's like, man, it's brutal because those division games are always close. They're never blowouts. I mean, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Titans week 9, October 9th, week 5, moving on to October 13th. You got the Bears in Chicago. We'll see Justin Fields. Well, hold on, going back 1 week to Tennessee. I don't know if it's going to happen by then, but look, you know who's backing up Ryan Tannehill, right?
No, who?
Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Malik Willis. That's right. So we beat them up enough. We might see some Malik Willis. I don't know what the Tennessee schedule looks like, but should be an exciting player. Moving on to the Bears, week 6.
Have a tough schedule. They were a top team last year.
Yeah,
they don't get the Dallas treatment.
No. Bears week 6, October 13th. Justin Fields. I still don't think they did a whole lot for the receiving corps for that poor kid. He's going to continue to be running for his life.
I'm excited for that game. That's a Thursday night game.
Yeah. 8:15. That should be fun. Those primetime games.
Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
That actually, I'm excited for, not because of Herbstreit, but I'm an Al Michaels mark. So
yeah. And then from there, we stay in the Midwest and for opponents, we come back to DC and we Packers at home, week 7, 1 p.m. Aaron Rodgers, sans Devontae Adams. So
sans anybody that could be considered a number one receiver.
Right.
That team, you do have Aaron Rodgers, so he makes people better. But I don't know.
A lot of receivers have made a lot of money coming from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, That's right.
Well, he didn't also spread the ball around a lot. If you look at their discrepancy between,
dude, it was like 90% of the passes went to Adams. You're right.
Yeah, all the yards, all the end zone throws, everything went to him. So I just wonder.
Vontez Scouting didn't get a lot of burn. Their tight end Tanyan.
Well, he's gone too though. Scouting is gone. Tanyan's still there, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still
there.
Yeah. October 30th, week 8. That's the real Wentz revenge game, going back to Indianapolis. And that should be one for him personally to be on the lookout for. I'm sure he'll say it's just another game. It's 4:25. We'll be watching it in the afternoon, but that's going to be a fun game for him to see how he responds, right? You guys have seen it. All his teammates loved him. Nobody said anything bad about him. They said
only the owner.
Yeah, only the owner. That's right. Even the coach, Frank Reich, didn't say anything bad about him. I mean, who trades that much, multiple picks for a quarterback and then just to get rid of him the next year, man? It's some who did that? The Cardinals with Josh Rosen when they got Kyler Murray. But I can't blame on that one. That was the
smart move.
That was the right call. Yeah. So week 9, we got Kirk back in DC. I would love to stick it to him, but Minnesota's pretty good offensively when they're healthy, with Dalvin and Justin Jefferson and Thielen and Kirk, and I forget who's playing their tight end these days. Rudolph is gone.
I'm curious to see how that turns out. That's going to be an interesting game. Very interesting game.
Well, shout out to Fred, Fairweather Fred. Love Fred Brown. He posted an article in the group. Kirk, I think Kirk has the most guaranteed money, like per capita ever. So he's a smart
500 record quarterback.
He is. He bet on himself every time, and he's won, regardless of what you say.
What helps Kurt also out is he never gets hurt. He's never missed a start besides when he had COVID.
The best ability is availability. Right. That doesn't matter what position you play. You know what I'm saying? And then so week 10, back in Philly. 8:15. This is when Derek was talking about prime time, our second primetime game of the season. I don't know what. Let me see.
That's Monday night.
Monday Night Football. Okay, there we go. That's the game. Monday Night Football in Philly.
Eagles in Philly and Monday night.
We don't do good on Monday nights as it is. I mean, remember
not in Philly. We
they
do not
crushed that
do well
record.
in Philly on Monday nights.
We don't do well at home versus Philly Monday nights either. I remember the Monday Night Massacre. When Michael Vick came back.
You gotta understand. If we got in Philly on a Sunday night, I'd feel completely different.
Yeah.
Philly on Monday. You remember the body bag game was Philly on a Monday.
Oh.
Carson Wentz, we did that whole that when he did that
Houdini.
first time, saw him do that escape move.
Yep, he ducked under and
that was out. Philly on a Monday.
That's right.
They love putting us on against Philly on a Monday. We've had a lot of Philly games on Mondays, and they just haven't really gone our way. Sunday nights have, not Mondays. I don't know that one. I mean, look, if this is going to be the year we turn things around, you got to win those types of games that we traditionally lose, and that's one of them right there.
Yep, sure enough. Moving back on to week 11, back in Texas, Houston. I mean, I didn't follow them during the draft. I don't know how well they're doing.
That's a big dub. I'm sorry.
Should be.
I'm anxious to see how Mills plays this year.
I think the Jaguars are better than the Texans right now.
Yeah, I would agree. But I'm anxious to see how Mills plays this year, man. I wonder if he's actually going to be good.
Mr. Davis, I have the biggest giraffe neck in the league. Mills, you seen that dude's neck, man?
Yeah, it looks like Mecha neck on He-Man.
I'm telling you, he's taking the longest neck in NFL history title.
Oh my gosh, dude, his neck's vertical is like would just crush at the combine. Man,
he got a neck that porn star would love.
That's right. He's connected.
Oh, Jesus.
Boom, boom. Yeah. Hey, Brian, my boy, if you're in Houston, hey, if you're listening, I think I'm going to come visit you and take the whole family and come out and see you that weekend. So I would love for you to be able to host us if you hear this. I might come see you anyways. Week 12, November 27th, Atlanta sans Matt Ryan. They're running with old Marcus Mariota and who's the other guy they got? Who'd they pick? They drafted,
Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. That's right. I like Desmond Ridder. I think I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback if he can stay healthy.
I honestly thought that he was going to be the guy that would go to us in the mid rounds at quarterback, not Sam Howell.
Not Sam Howell.
But
did they have who? I don't know who was ranked higher, Howell or Ridder.
Ridder was ranked. Ridder was ranked lower going into this past college season, but they were kind of in the same atmosphere. Around draft time.
Howell was like the number his sophomore year, he was like the number one quarterback coming into his junior year.
He was, and he lost.
He lost
all his receivers,
tight end, 2 running backs, and like 3 linemen,
including De'Ami Brown, one of the people he lost.
All those guys in 1 year.
Yeah.
And he's not at a school that reloads talent like that easily.
He still had 3 bands and 1,000 on the ground.
He did. He's got some wheels. He's not considered a mobile quarterback, but man, dude can run.
That's a rough guy to get in the 5th. What we get in the 5th round, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, 5th round. As a rookie quarterback, I think unless you're fully pro ready, like Carson Strong or Peyton Manning coming out, you got to be able to move just to protect yourself and live to fight another day, man. I really think you do. That's why I think his mobility is going to be very, very helpful.
If our fan base loved Heineke, they're gonna love Howell, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's gonna be. That's why I'm hoping it's not a quarterback controversy from the get go. Because
he's kind of he's part Baker Mayfield. So that's a little bit of Manziel.
Yeah, they're saying his comp is. They're saying Sam Howell's comp is Baker Mayfield. What do you think about that, Derek? Is that an accurate comp, Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I like that comp. He's a lot better with the ball in his hands, I believe, in the open field. I think he really showed that this year when he had the chance to. He kind of was forced to be able to have to score on his own because, like we've said, all his weapons left, and he even had a brand new offensive line too. So that really hurt his protection. He was kind of running before he could look downfield.
Yeah, he lost like 2 linemen to the NFL, and I think he lost a tight end, which basically is a lineman. I mean, there's a lot of 2 running backs, 2 receivers. I mean, anyone would be terrible.
We have what kills me, and I'm glad this conversation's kind of drifted this way. is that there's people in this fan base who still believe that Taylor Heineke is a better quarterback than both Carson Wentz and Sam Howell.
Please.
I
Hey,
would love.
until they beat him out, man, I'm gonna say okay. I mean, I'm not counting anyone out, man. I haven't seen this rookie play ever outside.
I've seen Carson Wentz play, and as much as
I'm not counting Carson in this. Carson's the number one, dog. I don't think there's gonna be a controversy.
As much as I have dumped on Carson Wentz over the years, all right, and some of that is he was a Philly guy. I would have never ever said, even when Carson Wentz was in Philly, oh yeah, Heineke, way better. We got the better quarterback. I would never have said that. Now I said that when we had Kirk. Definitely said that. Never would have said that with Taylor Heineke. Come on.
Yeah.
You're being ridiculous and you're being a stan and for a specific guy that is really just a guy.
A jag. Marcus Edlin says he has a stronger arm and better mobility than Baker Mayfield. I don't know about the arm mobility. Yeah, for sure. Hands down. No question.
I think he throws a better deep ball is the thing.
Yeah. He was looking pretty good at that little rookie mini camp.
I think maybe what Marcus is talking about with stronger arm is that some of those crossfield outs, Baker Mayfield doesn't hit those very well.
And neither did Taylor Heineke.
Right. That's what when we say strong arm, it doesn't necessarily mean because Taylor Heineke, we saw him throw a 60-yarder up, man. I watched it. He's done it. You know what I'm saying? So to say he can't throw the distance.
Well, if I got a running start like a javelin, I could probably do 40.
I see what Dev's saying is he can make all the throws.
Right. He can make the throws. I'm not saying that Heineke can make some throws too. I'm not going to just.
But I'm telling you, the deep out is like the measure of an NFL quarterback.
Right. Some guys can't do it.
You're right.
Donovan McNabb couldn't do it, man, and he lasted in the NFL for a bunch of years. So
he hit the dirt. That dirt.
Look, you are absolutely right. Taylor Heineke can make some throws.
Right.
He can make the throw high. He can make the throw low.
And Terry will go get it. That's how it works.
Phil's a hater, man.
I'm not a hater. I'm a realist.
How you not like Philly and your name's Phil? That's weird. That's like me thinking Devontae of Jodeci is the worst Jodeci member, but I'm not gonna say it because it's got DEV in his name. I'm not gonna go there.
But he is.
Mr. Dalvin was the worst.
Here's the thing.
Jodeci
I
member.
hate the fact that I share a name with that city. Right? I love the history of the city.
What is your middle name, Phil?
Andrew.
Huh? Amy.
Andrew.
Oh, Andrew.
My initials are Pac. Take that for what you will.
Yeah, you got to change your name to Pac on the screen from now on.
Yeah. Week 13, moving on to New York Giants.
But I'm a Biggie fan. Go figure.
Back up in New York. Speaking of Biggie, back up in is it East Rutherford? I think where the stadium is.
What's that word again?
East Rutherford. I believe
so.
We are going. Yeah. This is such an interesting schedule, Quirk. Look at that. We're going back to back in New York.
Almost, yes, and I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean, you have the bye week in between, honestly, but to see the same, it is an excuse. I don't know if I've ever seen that personally. We play the same team consecutively, even if there's a bye week fitted in. I've never seen that.
Let me do a little check. Shit. I'm pretty sure we did this back. You remember when there was a time that there were 2 bye weeks?
No.
Remember, you don't remember that?
I really don't know.
I do remember. I remember that back in the day we had 2 bye weeks. I do remember that.
Norv Turner's first year, or second year, or something like that. There was 2 bye weeks, and okay, I'm incorrect. I thought we went Tampa Bay bye week, Tampa Bay, because there was a season we played Tampa Bay twice.
Yeah,
and which is weird because they weren't even in our division, which was Norv's first year, but. There was a game against the Cardinals sandwich in between those. I just looked it up.
There you go, Marcus. Heineke can't make all the throws. That's right. That's all we were saying. A real NFL quarterback, a franchise quarterback has to make all the throws. That's the 15-yard, hitches with anticipation where you're throwing the ball before the receiver even turns. The balls where he's making the deep out and you're throwing it before the receiver makes his cut. That's all we're saying. That's literally all we're saying. And I think you're right. So we get the bye week in week 14, fellas. That's a lot of football. before a bye week, like Marcus said earlier. Late bye. A lot of injuries happen in 14 weeks with no rest. I know, Derek, how do you feel about that week 14 bye? 13 games of football before bye.
Well, I think it all depends on how the season's going at that point. I can see where it could play in our favor, where we start our end of the season run right there, and we get a few guys back after that last bye. But man, we have a bad history with injuries, and I have a bad feeling that we're going to have a lot of banged up guys come that time of the year.
Yeah. Yep.
If we can mitigate it, if we can mitigate our injuries to at least just like a moderate amount, I think that bodes well. That the late bye bodes well for us. If we're still in the mix, injuries aren't too bad. You have guys coming back for that stretch run, that final 4 weeks, might work out in our favor.
And Phil, check this out. I mean, the good part is it's a bye, but it's 13 days between games, because that December 4th game, that December 4th game is a Sunday, okay? And then go all the way out to the 17th. That's a Saturday game.
Potentially.
It could get flexed to Sunday, which would be 14 straight days. So you know what? I'm going to take that back. 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks. Almost 2 full weeks. Now we as fans are going to be sucking because our team's not playing for 2 weeks, but that's actually, now that you put it that way, Phil, it made me just realize that, I mean, and Derek, that could be a huge replenishment of health. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think like I said, I think it all depends on how we're doing. It might be a time where, if we're struggling really bad, Ron might just shut a couple of guys down at that point.
Right. And just let them ride out the last 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it might be a situation where it gives us just enough to, like Phil said, go on that last power run and squeeze into the playoffs.
Man, by the way, that pick of the running back, is it Robinson from Alabama? Yep. Right around then in the season is when a guy like that is very valuable, because he can lean on defenses that are tired at the end of the year, man.
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
probably my favorite pick.
Look at this way. We are going 3 of the last 4 games at home, on top of coming back from injury and all. It's on top of coming off of the bye. We're going,
Look at what Marcus said, though. He said we have a mini bye in October, and I didn't realize that either, because the October 13th game, that is a Thursday night football, like Derek said, and the 23rd, that's a Sunday. So you got a whole week, and then you get an extra 1, 2, 3. That's 10 days. So we get a lot of downtime. 10 days plus 2 weeks. That's actually, man.
A lot of top 5 shows will be coming on around that time, fellas.
Maybe that's why they're saying we have one of the easiest schedules, fellas. But then we go right to Christmas Eve, flying out to the West Coast after that big 2-week trip to see Kyle Shanahan, Deebo Samuel, and either Jimmy or Trey Lance. I'm not sure who we're going to see at that point, but out to the West Coast, 4:05 game versus San Francisco. And I think San Francisco is always going to be competitive, so that should be a good one, pending any injuries. That should be I don't know how we do on the West Coast travel games. It is Kyle Shanahan, so some people love him, some people hate him. I think Dev hates him. I think Dev's in the I hate Kyle Shanahan group. I like Kyle Shanahan. I'm in the I like him group.
I like him as an offensive coordinator.
Right.
Yes.
He's Norv Turner.
Fully agree. How do you feel about Kyle Shanahan, Derek?
Yeah, Dev, I really like that comparison, actually. Norv Turner is pretty, great offensive coordinator.
Terrible
Not
coach.
A great head coach.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. I think we can all agree on that one. So we get 2 kind of holiday games back to back, fellas. We get a Christmas Eve game. So I know with my family, this one's be contentious because usually we're getting together on Christmas Eve. So whatever we do, it's going to be centered around this 4:05 game, and football is going to be on the television. Doesn't matter what's going on.
Yep. We
are watching this game on Christmas Eve. And then New Year's Day, 1 p.m. That's going to be awesome. That is just amazing. And I got to look at the calendar. New Year's Day, it's a Sunday. So we might have the next day off for a lot of people.
The Browns? Who the fuck is that?
That is the Browns.
Yeah, it's the Browns.
I was like, what the hell?
The Cleveland
They need
Browns.
to get a logo, bro. That's
I know, it's just
I mean, we got a dumbass W, but I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
What are the Browns? What is their thing?
They're the dog is the mascot.
The fuck?
For the dog
saying, it's people complain about being a Washington fan. I mean, imagine being a Cleveland fan. Your baseball team's the Guardians.
As much as you want to talk about the name Commanders and all that, Cleveland has a serious
shout out to the Top 5 Tuesday, Major League.
Cleveland has a series of bad names, period. All right. You had the Indians, which, okay, I understand, but it's still a better name than Guardians. All right. I put Guardians in the same category as Red Wolves. It's just horrible names for a franchise. That's right, Derek.
Fast Black.
I had a question for you real quick, Phil.
Yeah.
Is Guardians have some kind of sexual penetration like Red Wolves does?
First of all, what the fuck is penetration?
No.
Connotation?
Yeah.
I thought you
just making shit up right here.
No,
right
I get what Derek's saying, because Derek paid attention when I was on my first Twitter handle when I was talking about the Red Wolves fans and their penchant for liking furry porn. But Guardians, I get where the name came from, but it's such an obscure, esoteric thing that to me it doesn't work. And really, it was a cheap way to have IANS at the end, so they could get something to fit the font of their team's logo on the jersey.
First question: what the fuck is furry porn?
Dev, you have Google. Look it up.
I'm not Googling that shit.
Furry porn?
You should.
I don't know what furry porn is.
Do it.
That's the only way you're going to find out.
She can see that in her search history.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Reason 10,554. Well, we will never be monetized, and I'm okay with that. We're okay with that, because that's what we bring to the table. We bring you furry porn and cockroach milk. Nobody will ever give you that sort of stuff, right?
I missed the boat on cockroach milk.
Yeah, it was
that particular. Was that barbershop?
It was a barbershop pod.
Why don't y'all make his ass Google it like y'all try to make me Google fuzzy porn?
Dev brought something up, and somehow we got on the topic of cockroach milk is an actual.
By the way,
thing.
I got clued in on this whole furry porn thing. I see him now on Twitter posting all kinds of pro Commander stuff, like he's always been for the name. I'm like,
oh man,
I'll let you have it because I'm trying to be nice.
The real question is,
people can change their minds. It's okay.
What kind of conversation were you having with this guy when he brought up furry porn? That's the real question.
He was posting it on his Twitter. Animated furry porn, and
that's
he was
one of those just keep scrolling things. I think.
Someone showed me, it's like, you see this? And this is a guy who's one of the biggest backers of the name Red Wolves. He was one of the people that organized a lot of Twitter polls.
Like engage. I'm engaging. I'm dropping the hammer. No, you're not. What's that from? What's that from? Somebody get the line.
Avengers.
No, Days of Thunder, man. When Tom Cruise is making
true story.
He's making his first lap, and he's like, "I'm dropping the hammer," and Harry Hog's like, "No, you're not." Oh man,
true story. I'm trying to think of this kid's name. I played high school for. I think it was Chris Matthews or something like that. He won the Days of Thunder car at a drawing at Kroger's, man.
Which one? The yellow one, the City Chevrolet one, the neon yellow and green one.
Yeah, the one you won the races with. He won that actual race car, man. In high school, he was still in high school.
What?
I think he sold it and got like 2 other cars out of it.
Damn, that's
I believe it. That car.
I was this close to putting that in my top 5 of top 5 Tuesdays for all-time greatest sports movies.
This
Derek,
kid,
we'll ask you at the end, Derek, just to get a quick plug.
This kid looked like the kind of guy that liked NASCAR. Looked like that was his favorite sport. If you knew the kid, he was like real tall. He was like 6'8", never played a sport, wore boots to school every day.
Fit the mold.
Yeah,
that's racist, Dev. Don't be racist.
He was cool as shit, man. He was cool as shit. We used to hang out. We used to sit. He couldn't even drive it. I don't think. I think he couldn't even drive it. So
not street legal.
We used to hit. No, I think he wasn't old enough.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think we ended up. We used to sit in it and hang out in it all the time today. I think when he turned 16, they sold it and got 2 cars.
You smoking it?
No, man. I don't think he was into that, man.
Because he was white.
What's that?
Because he was white.
Nah, most of my friends are white smoke. I don't know what that means.
Well, let's move on to the last game of the season, Week 18. The time. So this is a true flex game, January 7th or 8th. For some reason, that is a Tuesday or Wednesday. That's the kind of an oddball date. I bet you that could get flexed even further for some stupid reason. I don't know why they would schedule a game on a Tuesday or Thursday. Excuse me, a Tuesday or Wednesday. That makes zero sense to me whatsoever.
You got the Oculus?
I have an Oculus, yes.
That might be one of those games you can watch where like you can sit in the crowd and watch on your Oculus and go left and right watching everything.
Okay, that could be cool.
Yeah. I think the games are on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
But Amazon's picking up a couple of these games this season for the first time.
The 7th and 8th?
Look at this. Look at it. 7th, 8th. I mean, I don't know. This is what the team put
That's
out.
a Saturday or Sunday.
January 2023. Hold on. I'm sorry. I was looking at February. You're right.
By the way, Amazon, you lost my printer, bro.
Disregard everything I said on my calendar. I had February. I apologize for the confusion. You're right, Phil. Thank you. That's why we have
I was like, hold on, the math is not adding up.
Saturday, Sunday flex game. I was like, I've never seen a game on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. Then if you look at the next month, February 7th is Tuesday. So finish up at Dallas at home. Hopefully that game is meaningful or non-meaningful. By non-meaningful, I mean we already have a playoff spot secured and we can play and do whatever the hell we want.
NFC title.
Yes. Fellas, 2022 schedule. And there's one other graphic I wanted to show you guys real quick before we close out of here. So Dev shared it before. It's the strength of schedule for all the NFL. So now that we've seen the Washington schedule, if you look at what's eye-popping is look at the last 4 teams who have the weakest schedule in the NFL.
We can't catch a break for shit.
I mean, the one time we get the weakest schedule in NFL,
everybody else in our division is right around us.
Yeah. Now, as you all know, it's really hard to put a lot of stock in this sort of thing because teams flip every year as far as who's bad and who's good. But I don't know, Derek, does anything else stand out with you on this strength of schedule percentage based off the 2021 records?
I mean, no, not really, because I mean it all depends on your division, how good your division is, what 2 divisions your division is playing. I mean, that plays a big part into it. That's why the entire NFC East is as low as they are, and the NFC West is so high. You know, they play a very tough schedule. So,
yeah.
I mean, look at the Titans. Titans are don't have a strength of schedule that's that much stronger than ours.
Yep.
I mean, the whole AFC South is kind of right there too.
3 of the 4 teams from the AFC South are right next to each other as well.
Yep.
So it's weird how that plays out that way.
Hey, I'm glad we got the worst schedule. You can make fun of me all you want to, other people.
Oh, I'm glad too. I'm just mad that somehow Dallas has a schedule as weak as ours.
That's what I want to know. How do they continue year in, year out to have just a cake schedule?
It is because they play us twice. Hell, be honest.
So, hey, new question for all of you. I'll ask you individually. I'll start with Derek. What team in the NFL are you? Take your Commanders fan hat off for a second. What team are you interested in? Like, you know, they're really intriguing, and you want to see how they do come 2022.
Well, there's an easy answer here.
Okay,
and the easy answer would be Kansas City, but that's
for
not,
you.
That's not really where I want to go with this.
They don't have Tyreek Hill though. It's going to be interesting to see how that works.
And that's where I go with my answer.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what Miami does. They're bringing that San Francisco offense into Miami. You add Tyreek Hill to that mix.
Yeah,
and you've got Jalen Waddle already, so you've got speed on speed. Speedsters. And then
what's funny?
Brought back Gesicki.
What's funny is that they showed some pictures or some video of Tua throwing at Tyreek, and he's slowing down for the ball. And they're like, dear Tyreek, Tua is not Patrick Mahomes. Love everybody.
And if you watch that video too, you can see Tua's face, and he puts everything he has into that ball.
He does.
He is gutting it out.
he's going to have to learn to throw with much more anticipation with old Tyreek. Marcus says, except the Cowboys has to travel to Green Bay and Tampa Bay. They do, which is two very hard places to play.
Right. So still
just ask our boy Shotguns, except if it's Green Bay in the playoffs, because Tampa Bay had no problem beating Green Bay in the playoffs last year. Sorry, Shotguns, I had to call you out, man. Hey Dev, what outside of the Commanders, is there any team you're looking at that just piques your interest that you want to watch to see how they do next year?
Yeah, that division, and like y'all talk about the Browns, the Steelers, and Baltimore, that division.
Yeah,
I want to see who wins that one. It's going to be a pretty good division to.
I think it's going to be it's the Ravens division to lose. I think.
I wonder, but who's he going to throw to? Bateman really that good? We didn't get to see him and Bateman together at all. The receiver they drafted last year, he was pretty good though, but we didn't get to see a lot of him. I just wonder what weapons. I wonder who dropped the ball on that trading for Deebo Samuels, because that would have felt like a glove.
It would have. I mean, yeah, that was a bombshell we got in the middle of the draft. I haven't seen that many people traded in the middle of a draft in forever. They did get an offensive tackle, and the Ravens did in the first round, so they still got all their running backs.
So speaking of, do we take this money we get for Landon Collins on, was it June 1st or whatever? Do we take that and give it to Terry or Payne, or do we go get someone else?
Are you on my fan answer? Is you pay Terry? That's the fans' answer. I don't know what the real answer is. I think you guys signed Terry before you signed Payne, especially since you drafted Fedarius.
Right, or do you?
I don't think you re-signed Payne.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Derek's right. I would move him now if I could. I would have moved him before the draft.
I thought they were going to move him during the draft at some point.
I always thought they'd move him before they would let Ioannidis go, because Ioannidis, who has the same production, is likely cheaper because they see more upside in Payne. That's how I always thought. I always thought they would trade Payne,
man.
Right? That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Phil, what about you? Is there any non-Commander team that piqued your interest? I know your answer, but go ahead, say it anyways.
The Chiefs are one. There's two teams. The Chiefs are one. The other team I'm really interested in is going to be the Titans.
Yeah, I knew it. That's good. That's a good selection.
I love power football, right?
Yeah.
And
you don't see it anymore.
You don't see it anymore, and they play power football in ways that teams just don't do anymore. With Derrick Henry and was it Dante? Was it Foreman? Dante Foreman?
Yeah, Devontae Foreman.
No, not Devontae Foreman.
Right?
No, Deontay. No, they got this kid Dante. He was like a rookie or a second-year guy last year. You're thinking of somebody else. You're thinking of Deontay Freeman.
No, it's Deontay Foreman. D''ONTA Foreman. He's
okay. I thought it was.
I told you, make this motherfucker Google it like y'all try to make me on this.
Number 7 or 45. He wears number 45, I think.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. We should have just told him to Google it, Dad. That just needs to be the
Foreman.
answer.
I knew it was Foreman. I knew it was something like Foreman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember watching him and being impressed. Like, okay, you all got somebody behind Derrick Henry that can run, right? And I like that. I mean, it just it takes me back to the way I always enjoyed watching power football. Come on, I grew up a Redskins fan.
Yep.
We always had power.
That's all we knew. Marcus says he's interested in the Denver Broncos because AFC West is a killer. Now, I will say I think the AFC West is the best division in football going into 2022. On paper, I agree. You got the Raiders, who are a semi-playoff team. You got the Chiefs, who are always the contenders. The Chargers, who are up and coming, and you got the Broncos now with Russell Wilson, which changes the game completely. So that's going to be one of the best divisions in football.
You know what's going to suck is that the NFC East is actually you got the Cowboys, who aren't that different from last year. They did lose a couple pieces. No Amari Cooper, so forth.
Randy Gregory's gone too.
Randy Gregory's gone. Yeah, they're not quite where they were. They lost a couple pieces, and at the same time, Philly's supposed to have all these extra weapons. Some people think that we had the best skills position combination of talent in the division, and a lot of people still want to think of us as the NFC least. And a lot of that's going to be because it's a race to win 10 games in this division because everybody beats up on each other every year. So whoever wins 10 games is going to win this division this year. Again, because everybody beats up on each other. You're not going to have a runaway like you did last season or like we've seen here and there. It's going to be a dogfight all the way to the end. That's the way the NFC East is.
Always is. Yep.
Always is. All right. And
Marcus
when the
says,
NFC East was consistently
I agree. Louisville.
Teddy Bridgewater to be starting by the end of the year for the Dolphins. I mean, he's got a point. I want to see Tua do well, just because there's people hate him. I like seeing the underdog do well.
You know, what'd be neat is if the Dolphins end up drafting Talia when he comes out of college to replace Tua
out of Maryland. They get both brothers on the team. Eesh. He's got to have a good senior year though, or I don't know if he's a junior or senior. No, I think he's a
junior this year.
Yeah,
he could come out after this year though.
He can.
If you could have Tua's size and Talia's passing ability, you have a quarterback.
Yep. So for me, the team that I'm really interested in watching this year is Buffalo. Outside of the Commanders, they were so close last year. Came down to a coin toss in overtime between the Chiefs and the Bills, and of course they changed, as you know, the NFL and now changed the rules because of that game. Both teams get a possession. My argument is play defense.
You had 60 minutes to win that game.
You did, exactly. Play defense. But now in 2022, both teams will get a chance to play.
Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a turn.
So, you know what? I still like Buffalo. I think they're a strong team, good fan base. It's good. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this year. I like Josh Allen a lot. I know Dev doesn't like Josh Allen. He's our king.
I like Josh Allen, man. I just don't think he's better than Mark Jackson. All right.
That's we could have a whole show about that argument, by the way.
But the thing about I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's all right. But so as we close this out, Derek, we have a new segment called Top 5 Tuesdays. We're doing top 5 stuff. Of course, we're going to bring you on for some of those, non-Commanders related, more universal topics. And we just did the top 5 sports movies of all times in our opinions. So just off the cuff, you don't have to say them in any order, but just give us an idea of, in your head, what are some of the greatest sports movies to you? And this is you. There's no criteria. There's no, can it be this? If it's a sports movie and you like it, what you got?
Well, for those of you that don't know me very well, football is my one true sport, and it's been my one true love, my entire life, basically. So all 5 of these movies are football movies.
Fair.
There are some good other ones. Like, I would like to give an honorable mention to Talladega Nights because it's just hilarious.
A good one. I didn't even think about that.
Wait a minute. Is Harry Potter a sports movie?
No. Well, because of Quidditch? No. Talladega Nights is NASCAR, and NASCAR is racing, and racing is a sport. So that's okay.
I could have picked Driven.
Gotcha, Dan. All right, so of course I've got to have a movie like Friday Night Lights was one of the first ones that I really fell in love with. That was a big one. Rudy, I saw when I was real little. That made me start playing football.
L.E. didn't know that was a true story.
He did not.
Really?
Correct.
Man, I'm trying to think of the name of the movie. It's a football movie. See, this is what you do when you put me on.
No one said the program.
Shout out to my wife Carrie, by the way, who always takes care of my boys.
No one said the program.
That time. No one said the program. We got some Twitter messages today talking about why didn't we choose the program, or why didn't anyone talk about the program? Blindside 2.
Yeah. Dang it. It's the football movie with Denzel. I'm trying to think of the movie.
Oh, Remember the Titans. Yeah.
Remember the Titans. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Phil's going to kill me later for it, but Yeah, Remember the Titans. That's
I
probably
didn't
number
have it.
one,
I didn't have
honestly.
Remember the Titans in my top 5.
I had it as one of mine.
Dev
I
had
think
it.
maybe.
Blindside's definitely a good one. And you know what? I'll change it up a little bit. I think Rocky is an excellent movie.
Which one?
It's Dev,
Oof.
nothing is greater than the original.
Nah, that's
Boom.
yeah. I picked 4. I think Steve had 3 on his.
No, I didn't have
you-
any. I wanted
Yeah,
to,
Rocky.
but
You had 4. Dev or sorry,
I
LE
had
had
4.
Rocky
I would have
3.
went with 4. Just
I
to
had 4.
recap, Derek, this is what we had LE on, and this is what we picked for our top 5 movies. You can see by the list we went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
This is what we had. It was a very, I would say, diverse listing of movies. I think we did pretty well covering all different genres.
Definitely. It's
Yeah,
very
we only
widespread.
had 3 similarities, and those parentheses were we pre-predicted how many we were going to get between us. We're like, oh, we're going to get 2 similars or 3 similars, and we end up getting 3. So not too bad. Marcus
Nobody said blue chips with Nick Nolte.
nobody
Man.
said blue
I
chips
had
and
that
Shaq.
I had that as an honorable mention.
Yeah, Marcus did his yesterday. He said Any Given Sunday, Glory Road. I don't know Glory Road.
Glory Road's good. Hey, Kentucky took that L.
Hey,
son.
that's a good basketball movie.
Hey, that's why
Remember
the
the Titans,
black
Blue
dudes
Chips,
whooped
and
them
Brian
his
Song.
ass.
Brian Song, great movie about Gail Sayers. That's a great movie. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that one. That's a fantastic pull, Marcus. Because we know Gail Sayers, legendary. But yeah, this was our list from yesterday. Something we're starting to do on Tuesdays, and Derek would definitely bring you on for random topics. It definitely makes you think about certain things. But hey, bro, we really thank you for joining us tonight, man. This was really fun, and it's always good to have you back on the show. And just looking forward to the stuff you're putting out here in the future, coming with the team and stuff, man. You got any big plans you want to share with us, or what you got in the future in store for everybody?
Not really. I mean, right now is kind of that lull in the off season. We've been through free agents, and we made videos about that, and then there was the draft, and we do all the pre-draft stuff and the draft recap, and then you get to this point, and you might have a big signing, after June 1st, like Dev was talking about, when we get some extra money or little something like that might be worth a short video or something. But no, not really. Look forward to seeing what these rookies do. A lot of them look pretty good in the rookie mini camp, and it is rookie mini camp, so you take it as that.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally agree with all that. Well, we look forward to having you on again, and definitely see you out in the ether and in the Twitter sphere. And I think our next big steps here for the team is going to be more mini camps and then OTAs, and then we're back to football. I'm telling you, by the time we blink again, it's going to be football time. It's going to be end of summer. I know it. It just always comes so fast, and then there's roster predictions, and then cuts, and then it's football time. So you're right, Derek. This is going to be the lull coming up in between. What do we talk about now? So
that's when you talk about things like the fact that the Heat just knocked the Sixers out of the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
I won $10 on
FanDuel
FanDuel on that game too, by the way.
I'm sorry. Peace, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus, thanks for joining us. Stay blessed too, man. We'll talk
Just because I want to get this opinion out there in the ether, the NBA playoffs have been horrible this year.
What? They've been great. I liked them.
It's all blowouts.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm depressed.
The Golden State series is coming down 3-2, man. It should be a good one.
And Golden State should be down in this series.
Honestly,
they're down 3-2.
If you're looking for just playoff sports right now,
playoff hockey
is so much more entertaining right now.
That's not a sport that we play in America. It's not an American sport.
Really? Because there's 2 teams from Florida still in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy, I don't know about these communists, but I prefer American sports.
Basketball was invented by an American or by a Canadian.
North American sport. A North American sport.
North American sport.
Right.
Well, Canada dominates in hockey. So you want
to try that? Football Americano? Is that what they call it?
That's right.
Not the real football soccer. No, we have to ask Andy about that one. It's football for real. Well, Derek, hey man, we thank you for joining us, man. And as always, guys, go Go like and sub up. DC Derek, aka Derek Manning, the Burgandy Boss. Much love for Derek. We love Derek. Always been a friend to us, and he's a great guy. So please go subscribe to his content.
Marcus,
Burgandy
Boss.
The Burgandy Boss. That's right. Living out. Yeah, he's
Yes.
in enemy territory, man. He's out in the Midwest doing a thing out in Kansas City, who was my AFC team growing up, by the way. And I've been out there a few times, Fort Leavenworth. It's crazy out there, and it's not, Washington enemy territory, but you're definitely surrounded by probably a cult of Chiefs fans, especially now that they're good. They've been sustainably good. So people probably see you in your gear. You're like, who's this guy?
Yes, it's extremely annoying. Extremely. And I get to hear about it all the time, how dumb it is that you're a Washington fan, and how in the world can you be a Washington fan? We just went to 3 straight AFC championships, and you want to be a Washington fan. Well, it's in my blood, okay? It's not a choice.
Hey, Derek, Marcus said, plug your podcast one more time. So shout out to Marcus. He runs his group, Sports Group View 2. And he's sharing everyone's content. So Derek, just plug your stuff one more time. Where can he find you out on YouTube?
First off, Marcus, I want to say thank you for taking your time and, talking about my podcast a little more. It is the Burgandy Boss. That's Burgandy. It's a misspell. You can find us on YouTube at the Burgandy Boss Podcast, on Twitter as Burgandy Boss, and wherever you can find podcast, Spotify and Apple Podcast.
Bam, there you go. Marcus is a good friend, and we love
Appreciate you, Marcus.
He always chimes in. Shout out to his group, Sports View 2. Also, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and follow that group. Hey, fellas, this was fun. We got our 2022 schedule tied for the weakest schedule in the NFL with the Cowboys based on 2021 win percentages. Take it with a grain of salt, as you will. But hey, thank you for tuning in. Please leave us some comments of what you think about the 2022 schedule. And we'll be back on Tuesday for another Top 5 Tuesday. Not sure what we're going to do yet. We got a couple things in the hopper, but we're bringing it to you guys here, non-Commanders football related. So that being said, hey, this is going to be the next big hump. We'll get there. We'll get the football. Just bear with the schedule, and we'll get to it.
And rock with us for the fun content.
Yeah. Tune in Tuesday, and we'll catch you guys
through that off season.
That's right. We'll get you through it. As always, peace and hail.